Khaya Secondary School started in 1995. It was a donation that was made by people from overseas. There was an old building that was built by them using the community members here around. I joined the school in 2009, 1st of October. The first challenge that we have here is the house that are headed by single parents. And most of the parents, they are working on farms. We've got a farm here, which is Abagold, that is taking a lot of the families around. There is another farms around also. Parents are leaving very early in the morning and come very late in the afternoon. Some, they do not even know that their kids have come to school or not. If the school has not reported to the parents that the learners didn't come to school, the parent will only see when you are issuing out the reports that the learner has not been coming to school.
Those are the social ills that dominate in this small township. For me, the solutions to these challenges might include the visibility of SAPs. If the police might be visible to school, sometimes unannounced, because we also have drug addiction, there's also substance abuse amongst our learners, and sometimes it happens that the community itself gave those drugs to learners to sell because they are childhood at home, so they will do anything to provide for themselves.
The challenges we normally faced with include, amongst others, I would say lack of recognition as teachers and lack of support from the community. It is not at the level as one would expect it to be. The parents' role at the school, they do play it. However, it still leaves a lot to be desired for. We would like to have them 100% committed to the education of their kids. We don't want to be seen in the community as enemies, so to speak, because more often than not, you'll find that kids are reporting the negative things about us, and that actually paint this negative picture, bad reflection about the school and about us. It in a way though taints our image as teachers, and we become less of role models in the community. And I must say we are undermined in a way, probably because we are known, so to speak, of the mega salary that the teachers are getting paid. And also the security of us is at stake, because from time to time we do come with situations whereby teachers are getting robbed in the township instead of being protected. And to your surprise, some of the, I would say, Mapara, the thugs that are robbing the teachers, are also some of the learners who are teaching. So our security is at stake from time to time in the township.
We noticed that the social grant, it's at about 1,000 something. But when we are talking about the basic salary in South Africa, which I think is gazetted somewhere, it's supposed to be about 3,000 something. If we have got the child grant that will give the parents 350, how are they going to sustain themselves for the whole month? So if the president can talk about that, or think of raising the social grant for those people that are not working, they are only dependent on the social grant. We cannot say that the social grant does not affect our kids. These kids, they are too competitive. When they see other kids wearing techies, expensive ones, they also want to have them. And what they are going to do now, they'll do whatever they can do in order for them to maintain the standard.
We manage to do what we can, but we are not jack of all trades. We cannot tap on everything. So we do need the politicians, we do need SAPs, we do need health as well to intervene. We
have politicians from, of course, different political organizations that sometimes take advantage of the situation instead of coming to support us. But they make their way to come to school, sort of to gain, probably, one could say, cheap political points, to score cheap political points, especially when it comes to the era of elections. So they utilize every opportunity that they might see as an opportunity for them to come to school to converse. Either is something that is, I would say, not to build the school, but for as long as it will gain them an opportunity to score points in the community. So they do take advantage of some of the situations.
The money that is given to our school is not enough. Look at the difference between our former C-model CC schools and our schools. Those schools, they are charging school fees. But the no-fee school, they are not charging schools. Look at the difference of the money that is given to the school and the difference that is being made from those schools. And we are all expected to be on the same level as better results. And those schools, if you look at them, they are able to get more teachers. And for us, we cannot get more teachers. And if you look at the learners that are having, they are about 30. The government bodies, they are able to pay more salaries to the educators and also to the principals, and they are also able to get the tutors also from outside to assist them.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has, in terms of the Constitution, called for a joint sitting of the two houses of Parliament in liaison with the National Assembly Speaker, Ms. Thoko Didiza, and the National Council of Provinces Chairperson, Ms. Refilwe Mtsweni-Sipang. The joint sitting is scheduled for Thursday, 6 February 2025 at 7 p.m. and it will serve as the platform for the President to deliver his annual State of the Nation address. This is the first State of the Nation address in this new term of Parliament, following the 2024 national and provincial elections. The State of the Nation address is an occasion for the President to set out the government's key policy objectives and deliverables for the year ahead. The State of the Nation address will take place at Cape Town City Hall at 7 p.m. Watch the State of the Nation address live across Parliament's platforms and follow Parliament on social media and join the conversation using hashtag SONA2025. Your Parliament, your voice, your future.
We are at our most essential, a nation defined by hope and resilience. It was hope that sustained us during the struggle for freedom. Even in these trying times, it is hope that should sustain us and fuel our determination to overcome even the greatest of difficulties.
President Cyril Ramaphosa will deliver the first State of the Nation address of the 7th term of Parliament to a joint sitting on Thursday, 6 February 2025 at the Cape Town City Hall. The State of the Nation address is an occasion for the President to set out the government's key policy objectives and deliverables for the year ahead. During SONA, the President also highlights achievements, flags challenges, and outlines interventions that the government will undertake to unlock development interventions for the coming financial year. Watch the address live across Parliament's platforms at 7 p.m. Follow Parliament on social media and join the conversation using hashtag SONA2025. Your Parliament, your voice, your future. The first State of the Nation address of the 7th term of Parliament will be held on Thursday, 6 February, followed by 2 days of debate on 11 and 12 February, concluding with the reply by the President on 13 February. The State of the Nation address, commonly referred to as SONA, is one of the most important annual events in the parliamentary calendar. It is an integral part of Parliament's oversight function over the executive. Watch the address live across Parliament's platforms at 7 p.m. Follow Parliament on social media and join the conversation using hashtag SONA2025. Your Parliament, your voice, your future. The President will deliver the State of the Nation address on Thursday, 6 February 2025 at 7 p.m. at the Cape Town City Hall. This is the first State of the Nation address in this new term of Parliament following the 2024 national and provincial elections. Watch the State of the Nation address live across Parliament's platforms and be informed of government's planned priorities for the year ahead. Your Parliament, your voice, your future.
Daar moet aandacht geraakt aan behuizing en werkloosheid op hierdie oomblik. Dis wat ek dink. Ek dink meer met aandag aan die elektrisiteit ook. En aan die kinders moet hy ook aandag gee. Jy sien R350 is nie geld nie. En daar moet ook aan gekyk raak en dit is wat ek dink.
Wat ek eintlik wil sê, onze kinders maak klaar met matriek en dan gaan hulle verder, dan leer hulle loopmoesgrade agter hulle. Maar gaan daar by die munisipaliteit of by die koöperasie enige fabriek so die volstrydsleerfabriek, volstrydsleer, dan is dit 'n sikkelry. En die ander een is onze kinders kry nie werk nie. Nou, waar toe neem hy nou sy toevlug? Hy neem sy toevlug na die verkeerde dinge toe. So, Mendrix, wijn, enige ding, want hy is te leerig. So, ons het met die probleem daar in die Weskaap. So, ons is allemaal hier in die Weskaap, maar as een mens kijkt naar die kant van George, kijk je weer naar die kant van Mosselbaai so. Dit is, wat hulle daar gedoen het, hulle die fabrieke wat daar gewees het, die koopfabriek, die Spaletta, en dan die Pepsi, Cola, hulle die fabrieke, alles daar weg. En nou is daar min werk, daar is baie wat wil werk. As u kan net daar vir 'n dag of 2 kan kom, dan sal u sien hoe sit ons mense in die straat, daar so die kindertjies gaan ook nie skool nie. Straatkinders noem hulle.
My hoofdoel sal wees, as ek 'n president moet wees, om meer om te sien op die grond na my mense om te sien en die uitdagings aan te vat. Byvoorbeeld, dit wat ek in die vorige gesprek vir u gesê het, dit is behuising en die nood waar ons mense ondergaan. Hier sit ons nou, van gister sit ons nou met die loadshedding probleem, wat 'n groot probleem is op ons kosse, en dan ook ons gesondheid en ook op die skole. Dit is die probleem wat ons sit, dat daar vooraf moet gekyk word na die tipe goed wat gebeur in ons gemeenskappe. Ons gemeenskappe gaan bukkend. En dan vra ek vir die president om nou te sê dat ons rural areas, veral oor behuisingsnood, hier in die hele, net in Kannaland, oor die hele Weskaap, want plakkerskampe en goed hou 'n gesondheidsrisiko vir die meerderheid van ons gemeenskappe in. En dan om te sien na internasionele mense, daar is baie tekeninge en baie goed wat ons mense kan na die tafel toe bring om ons kinders weer vorentoe te vat.
Van Oudtshoorn. Ik wil bijna eindelijk iets kleins tekort zeggen van ons jongelingen, die problemen, die impact aan ons gemeenschap wat ons jongelingen heeft. Baie is een soort van gangsterisme, die gerokerij, omdat ons krijgt te veel rechten van de government af. Baie van ons als jongelingen denken, ons kan doen wat anderen ook doen. Maar als een van ons ouders ons uitvangt, met dat wat ons doen en ons krijgt pak, en voel ons de rechten om zaken te gaan maken tegenover die ouder maken. Dan zien de government nog steeds die waar van die problemen afkomen. Eindelijk is het probleem niet die tabakrokerij, het probleem komt in bij alcoholgebruik, drugs en kindersmishandeling enzovoorts.
I think the politicians in general, no matter they are coming from different organizations, they should be in one accord, they should be in unison, they should be speaking in one voice, protecting us, protecting the school. They should take ownership of the school so that whenever we get out there, the very same community, if they are protecting us, we can't be then letting thugs robbing teachers that are there at school to impart knowledge to build the community. We can't let them being the targets of the thugs, because the very same thugs are coming from the very same communities. So therefore the politicians need not to use a gap, using the school as a platform of, gaining, should I say, the points which are cheap, so to speak. So the school, though, is an institution that is supposed to be owned by the community. So they need to protect it. Look, the situation here is dire to a level of the fence is broken every now and then. By who? By the community. We have sheikhs around that are destroying the fence, and the people who are living there are the people from the very same community, and they are known. So if then the community can step up and be united and see us as people who are here to impart knowledge and to build this community, then I believe we'll be protected enough. We can be able to work freely. So the beef up of security, either the security guards to be stationed at school or the visibility of our subs, it has to be there, because our security is very, very important in order to be able to work in a very conducive environment.
So hi, I'm Johan. I'm the head boy of Hermanus High. So yeah, I think in our community, the day we live in, there's a broad diversity. So we are all, everyone comes from different places, different backgrounds and everything. And I think that for teachers, and as we are all treated kind of the same, although we come from different backgrounds, we have there's a certain expectation. All of our expectations are the same. They expect us to excel at the same rate, but they don't take into consideration where we come from necessarily. So I think if they can maybe zoom into us a little bit, connect on a more personal level, I think that would be much more efficient to make us excel in whatever we do. So I think if I was Mr. Ramaphosa, I would say that he must focus on the quality of education. And with that, I mean that we might have to incorporate smaller classes where you can have a more personal level and connection with the children. And I think when you get to know them on that personal level, you know where they come from and their backgrounds, then you will be able to know what to expect from them based on their backgrounds and so on. So I think if he can maybe stop maybe not giving an umbrella term and not applying something from up there, just maybe focusing on more specific people, zooming in on people, then I think that will be very effective.
Ek dink die belangrikste ding wat ek die afgelope tyd net experience het is onderwys is so 'n groot deel van ons, want dit is letterlik hulle bou die toekoms vir ons. Hulle speel seker vital deel in die ontwikkeling van elke kind. En ek dink dit is belangrik om vir onderwysers daai erkenning te gee wat hulle verdien, want dit is nie net 'n 8 tot 2 werk nie. Hulle bly elke middag na skool. Op Saterdag, Sondag, dit is elke dag van die week is dit harde werk en hulle sit met moeilike kinders en ek dink regtig om die welstand van onderwysers te prioritiseer sal vir my die grootste ding wees, want ek dink baie van hulle sukkel en hulle word nie genoeg gewaardeer nie. En saam met dit werk saam met die welstand van die leerders dan. As die welstand van die onderwysers nie in plek is nie, dink ek die leerders is ook, hulle word geaffekteer daardeur. So ek dink ons as land moet eintlik maar net kyk na ons onderwysers en so gaan ons kyk na ons kinders en dan dink ek dit is die oplossing vir 'n beter toekoms.
And I am a 27-year-old lady. I currently stay in Soweto, Chawero. So if I was a president, I would like the president to address youth unemployment, development of our townships, cities, in terms of our streets, in terms of, the way our places are developing those areas, because in terms of the work experience that I have interacted in, I currently move around from provinces to Soweto, to Free State, to Northwest, to Moruleng, to a village like Moruleng. So it allows me to explore in terms of different places and see how different people live. So in that case, I can see that the main thing that we are suffering as a country is that, developing of places is still a major thing, and also roads, working hand, make sure that that is there. I know a lot of people will talk about unemployment, but it's there. But I feel like, also targeting, assisting entrepreneurs that are there in townships. I feel like the president also needs to touch base on that, maybe opening up a fund or something that will help those that are currently in townships and rural places. Thank you.
igama lami ndingulelethu ifana ndingubhenya ndihlala apha eHermanus ephezulu eWhite City. So i-challenges esijongene nazo apha ndingathi eyona i-worse yi-substance abuse. There's a high rate of substance abuse, drugs, robbery. Even here at school there's a high rate of substance abuse, high rate of drugs. Abantwana bayadlwengulwa ngaphandle, kuyarojwa. Even i-youth le itshintshile yaroba. Like there's no difference between youth nabantu abadala, because yonke youth yenza lento eyenziwa ngabantu abadala. Even irrespect ayikho. Even here at school there's no respect. Teachers are not valued. Abantwana besikolo balwa ngokutya, abafundi baphendula ootishala, barude. Even lapha esikolweni ikhona bullying, and there is also cyberbullying, and it starts from elokishini to social media is apha esikolweni. So I can say social media also affects isikolo. Teachers are not valued, and teachers also get robbed by the youth. Even the school children rob teachers outside because, as I've said, they are not valued. Inqabile into yoba banqabile abantwana abaphumelelayo ngoku, and there's a high rate of death ku-youth. It makes me feel so sad, because I also lose hope that what can I be ngengomso, ndizoba yintoni ngengomso xa kunje ekuhlaleni. So ndineza ndiphelele ithemba. Mna umongameli ndicinga ukuba agxile kwi-youth, aqinisekise ngokuthetha nge-youth.
I would love to see more emphasis on the recognition of indigenous languages. The most dominating languages, more especially in the Western Cape, are English and Afrikaans, more especially when our learners now need to write the NSC paper. They do have the advantage. I feel that they are advantaged, those learners who are coming from English and Afrikaans background, and then our learners from Xhosa speaking homes, they are more marginalized. If the president can put more emphasis on that, the recognition, yes, on paper they say it's equal, but in real terms now, we can see that English and Afrikaans are more dominating. If he can emphasize on that. The second thing is the matter of reading in South Africa. Not so long ago, the study which was done by PILS in 2021 and which came out in 2023, the research conducted there came out stating that we are number last, which is 57 out of the countries that were partaking in that, meaning that our learners in grade 4, they cannot read for meaning, they cannot comprehend. Yes, to decode a text is not a matter, but they cannot comprehend. So if the president can put more emphasis on maybe to increase the time of reading in our annual teaching plans, because every year we have now 2025 teaching plan and the time for reading is reduced. If he can put more emphasis on that, I would love to see it.
as Rastafari, we are herbalists, we are natural people, and most of the time we are not allowed to enter certain places. For instance, in the mountains, because we are the people of the nature. We live in the mountains, we dwell in the mountains. That's where we get mostly from our herbs from. But in most cases, we're not allowed to go there unless you had a permit. And as Rastafari, truly inhabitants of this land, original, we don't need papers or anything permits to dwell in our own land. We must have more freedom between one another, because we still oppress one another because the way we live, because of how they call it, xenophobia and these kind of things. We discriminate one another, we chase one another. We all black people, we all African people, and these people come to South Africa to learn from us how we survive as people here. And them go well with I. They learn from I and they mingle with and become one with I because we are one people. No need to chase them away if there was no borders, because we was the first one who traveled across countries. But now we've been captive in our own country, according permits and what you call it, visas and all the kind of papers that come from the white man. The white man bound us with papers. They give us money, so we can be bound within this system of them. They don't give you free opportunity to can own your own land. You can cultivate and increase in the benefits of the land. But they don't give us such opportunities. We can't live our own life in our own land. We are like foreigners in our own land. We love calling Westerns. Look how people is like Western people. There is no tradition, no culture, African tradition, no African culture that is pure African, no more.
Igama lam ndingulelona Somdaka. I'm doing grade 12 at Khaya Secondary. I-challenges esijongene nazo singabantwana, si-youth, firstly peer pressure. I-peer pressure leads to a substance abuse because abantwana abaninzi ngoku bava ngeetshomi zabo. Since becinga iitshomi zabo zibabonisa izinto ezi-right ezininzi. And ke ngoku le nto yabo yotshaya iyaba-affecta engqondweni and iba-affecte ke nasesikolweni, baphele besenza into ezirongo nasesikolweni, and also violate ii-teachers because ezikolweni ezininzi ii-teachers ziyaviolathwa, abazihoyanga. And ke ngoku loo nto izobamoshela i-future. And secondly, uyuza i-internet kakhulu for izinto ezirongo. Abanye i-internet bayisebenzisela like to play on Facebook, whereas kufuneke sisebenzisele to find i-resources like ezesikolo, to find i-resources ku-YouTube and nako Google sincede thina. But into abayenzayo bona badlala on Facebook and watch nasty stuff like izinto ezininzi. So I could advise inantsika i-parents to link their phones kwabantwana babo so that bayazi uba bazisebenzisela ntoni kwixesha langoku. And also i-crime. Yeah, i-crime. And i-crime isuka nayo kwi-substance abuse. I'd like the president to emphasize on social development. Yeah. Into ebaluleke kakhulu of endicelayo mna uba i-matrics, especially from 2021 to 2025, zininzi ezingekho employed ngoku. Cela nje i-matriculants zibe employed kuzanywe imisebenzi for like ulutsha so that nalo luzokwazi like uqinisa i-community yabo. And inantsi ke apha ezikolweni siyayidinga imali because there are a lot of learners and ke ukutya akho enough. So kunganyuswa imali enikezwa isikolo so that kuzothengwa ukutya kakuhle ne-stationery. Not all people are privileged. So kungancedwa abo badingayo.
Van die goed van die onderwys wat vir my groot passie is, is huistaalonderrig. En ek voel ons leerders in ons skool, maar ek weet ook buite ons skool, het die behoefte aan om onderrig in hulle huistaal te ontvang. En as mense dan die literatuur lees rondom huistaalonderrig, dan is daar baie bewyse van hoe dit vir kinders eintlik die beste tipe onderrig gee. So ons het in ons skool en baie ander skole het kinders wat in 'n tweede of 'n derde taal skool gaan. En een van die uitdagings is om so iemand te sien dat hulle volle potensiaal bereik terwyl hulle nie in hulle huistaal skool gaan nie. So huistaalonderrig is vir my baie groot probleem wat ek raak sien in die onderwysstelsel. En 'n ander probleem is vir my, of 'n ander uitdaging, is dat 'n mens op die hoërskoolvlak kry mens kinders wat nie genoeg leesvaardighede het nie, nie goed genoeg leesvaardighede het nie, en nie goed genoeg leesbegrip het nie. En wat ek van hou om te sien is wat hulle al op die laerskoolvlak, graad 1 vlak geïnkorporeer het, is 'n goed bewyste kurrikulum, leeskurrikulum, die Fundawande leesreeks, waar die kinders regtig die fundamentele beginsels van lees aanleer. En op hoërskoolvlak sit ons baie keer met 'n uitdaging om dit aan te spreek, want ons het nie dieselfde tipe programme wat ons met ons kinders op die hoërskoolvlak kan doen nie. Vir my is dit, as ek president sou wees, sou ek die droom van die onderwysdepartement en die regering, toe ons net in 'n nuwe regeringsbestel ingekom het in 1994, sou ek wil versterk. Ons het gegaan van 'n genasionaliseerde onderwysstelsel, waar 'n mens kinders gehad is wat gedwing is om in 'n sekere taalskool te gaan, gegaan na waar elke gemeenskap vir sy skool se kinders 'n skool kon skep. En die heerliggame is ondersteun om vir hulle skool en hulle gemeenskap te sorg. En dit het 'n wonderlike effek gehad op ons gemeenskappe. En ek sal graag dit wil beklemtoon, dat die regering se wil is om vir gemeenskappe te bemagtig om hulle eie kinders se behoeftes te bevredig. En daarmee saamkom 'n huistaalonderrig. En daarmee saamkom goeie ondersteuning wat lees en begrip betref en beheerliggame wat die mag het om dit uit te oefen.
At Hermanus High School, we do find it's quite a challenge, the diverse groups that sit in our class. And when I talk about diverse, I'm not talking about color. I'm talking about ability. We have in our classes high achievers, pupils who really do shoot the lights out. They get 90% and so on. And in that same class from different primary schools, because our school, we have different feeder primary schools, we do get kids who struggle. And then in the same class, you sit with 90%ers versus 20 to 30%ers.
We've been saying we need more schools for quite a while, and I thought, what about a more realistic approach? What about equipping the schools we already have? Because we have so many schools that really aren't functioning at the best of their abilities. So to properly equip and empower the schools we already have, I think should be a main priority, so that learners don't flood well-established academic institutions and overwhelm these institutions, but that we can, spread our learners equally across all our schools in South Africa. So if I was the president and I had the opportunity to make a difference in our education system, I would focus largely on increased financial investment and continual financial investment in our schools. We are living in an ever-changing world, and our education system needs to keep up. It needs to evolve as our world evolves. So if we are to equip our learners for the modern world, we cannot do so with outdated resources and outdated approaches to education. We need to focus on skill development regarding technology, implementing technology, and focus more on a skill-orientated assessment rather than just knowledge retention.
Some schools get 100% funding from the Department of Education, which your quintile 1, quintile 2, quintile 3 schools. We are quintile 5 school. So the funding that we get from the department is very limited, which means we've got to charge school fees, and therein lies the challenge. We're charging us, you sit and you put the budget together for the year, you estimate kind of what your expenses are going to be, and therefore do the calculation, boom, there's your school fees. I would say about 50% at our school are not paying their school fees. That can be split up into about 30%, which will be bad debt. That just means those parents, they probably can, but they just don't. And then about 20 to 25% is exemptions. Those are the parents who really just don't have enough money. They don't earn enough, and then the Department of Education gives them permission not to pay school fees.
So I think if I was Mr. Ramaphosa, I would say that he must focus on the quality of education. And with that, I mean that we might have to incorporate smaller classes where you can have a more personal level and connection with the children. And I think when you get to know them on that personal level, you know where they come from and their backgrounds, then you will be able to know what to expect from them based on their backgrounds and so on. So I think if he can maybe stop maybe not giving an umbrella term and not applying something from up there, just maybe focusing on more specific people, zooming in on people, then I think that will be very effective.
State of the Nation address. South Africa, the southern tip of Africa, we actually produce such quality individuals in various fields. But it all starts in the schools. If you don't focus on the education in terms of prioritizing it, putting all your resources there, making sure that your education system is doing well, and whatever the shortfalls are, whatever the needs are in the education system, that is prioritized, that it really is the first and foremost what we focus on. Because if we have flourishing schools, it takes care of so many other issues.
My name is Shean Jamie Rippener. I'm an attorney at the UWC Law Clinic and also a final year law lecturer at the UWC Law Faculty. So as you now have heard, I work mainly in justice and also in departments of higher education. The two main challenges that we are facing is, one, courts are inundated with applications, actions, cases, to the point where the judiciary is just holding on. So one of the major issues that we're seeing is that there needs to be more court staff, more magistrates, more judges, more clerks, so things can move more efficiently. We cannot have people waiting 3-4 years and then the matter is still at pre-trial stage. In higher education, on the other hand, it was in the papers last week. Just going to speak from a UWC perspective. We received close to 100,000 applications for first-year students. We've got capacity to maybe take 5% of that. On the law faculty side alone, we maybe received around 6,500. We've only got capacity to maybe take 215 straight LLB program, another 100 to 120 in the BA law program. So the issue that we're finding is universities are being inundated, but the capacity to actually take in all of these students is not there. So the question which the SONA, I would want the SONA to answer is, what is the plan with regards to that? For those students who do not get in to the traditional universities, take the traditional route. What is government doing with regards to that?